Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Hey folks, Dude here, coming to you again, another iteration of Dude After Dark. Hopefully things are less crazy in your neighborhood than mine is currently, but wow, we have cats and dogs living together, cataclysm of biblical proportions. Translation, Thanksgiving is coming along shortly. Oh, my stars and garters, what can you possibly do except for simply just say, yeah, just All right, so looking at things as it is. In the room, Curious Entertainment. Dude, appreciate you coming on by. I know you're at work. If you wish to catch us in review, of course, there's people who do know how things work and those people who don't know how things work. Here's how things work in the realm of all things possible. The podcast takes place and it is simulcast using a camera here on YouTube and a camera here on Facebook. Both channels or both places or both venues are now places of opportunity, which you might find me there and good stuff like that there. I did forget to put a flag up. There's flags over my shoulder here, okay? So, I actually do have flags out, but there's not one posted currently. So, bad on me, but, it's still there, all right? At least I still have one in frame. All right, so looking at things as it's coming down the pike, where do we find ourselves? Oh, yeah, that's right. Beetlejuice, 5x5, good stuff like that there. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. If you catch me in review, so much would be the better. Obviously, you can stop, pause, take a whiz whenever you wish to. Good stuff like that there. I do not hold it against you to say, hey, dude, I'm really kind of backing up here. And I got to take care of business because, well, I'm kind of having a little bit of a problem because, well, sound guy. Well, I guess he had a lot to drink. You done? Wait for the shake. Wait for this. There you go. Wait for the shake. You got to have the shake. Anyway, so looking at things that is coming down the pike. Wow. You want to talk about something self-destructing, imploding, and going up with a glorious boom as we watch? Holy crap. Things going on in the White House right now between, I got this sound, between President, that's right. We're talking about President. Well, there's no other way to say it except for calling him what he is. Yeah, we're talking about President. That's right. So President Kaka has already stated, and this is like multiple stories across multiple platforms, multiple crossovers. Holy cow. It's now come out to say that pretty much that, well, anybody doing anything and anybody in any way, shape, or form, it's going to be Mr. Kaka because he's already thrown Kamala under the bus saying, I'm running in 2024. Bobby, Joe Kaka, Mr. You got to understand, dude. There's a reason why that you're not going to be looking very good in a few years, okay? You're not looking very good right now, and it could be said that pretty much your running mate, Kamala Horizontal Harris, wow, right now she is, in no uncertain terms, looking very, very not happy with you. So it's now come out from the PatriotJournal.com. This is a news story coming out, and oh, my stars and garters, it says Kamala could lose her job very soon. A Washington report claims that the vice president replacement process needs review. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is coming in from Joe Castellini, I think it is. Hang on a second here. Adam Castellino. Posted up November 17. Essentially what it's saying here is basically that Joe Kaka, Kamala's relationship is deteriorating. Stories have come out revealing that Biden's office is outraged over her lack of performance and the disarray of her own office. It's also come out that her staff, I got to say this right, folks. Her staff hates her. no uncertain terms, and the process has now come around that, well, Joe Kaka, so president is now thinking about how do you actually replace the sitting Veep? Well, if you want to really get down and dirty, I've heard mention that there is actually a process in where the Senate or the Congress, I forget which the process is, but one of those two bodies can actually change out the Veep. Wow. Wow. So essentially then what it comes out to be is okay, if you want to go with the line of succession, essentially, obviously, you have the president going to the vice president, going to the leader of the Congress, who is, of course, Nancy Pelosi. Now, I've heard the notion posited that there is a way for you to remove a sitting vice president while the president is in office and replace the vice president. And it could be something very, very unique, mostly because when you elect the president, the vice president's kind of along for the ride. They're really not truly, quote unquote, elected. And anybody that says something lame brain along the lines of, oh, yeah, I voted for that person because their vice president was just Thor's hammer, I got to do it because that presidential choice of the vice president sealed the deal. I had to have that Veep because they were just so phenomenal. Nobody votes for a president because of who is his running mate, okay? No matter who posits that notion, it is possibly one of the stupidest things ever put out there in political discussion to say, I'm voting for this guy because they chose the proper guy to sit under them only a heartbeat away from being in the White House. Now, it's also been well stated that Nancy Pelosi is probably going to retire in 22. Mrs. Dude threw me a news story earlier. She just purchased a $25 million mansion in Florida. Yes. Now I'm going to have to probably do a Google on this one. So give me just 1 second here. Give me your lead. And, I will find this one for myself here. So let's see. Nancy Pelosi buys house 25. That's backspace. 25 million in Florida. So Nancy Pelosi buys a $25 million mansion on the east coast of Florida. It's okay. Let's just break this down to its smallest possible bit of minutia. She just bought an 11,000 square foot, $25 million mansion in Florida. Now let's just say that she retires, okay? She lives in San Francisco and she's going to no income tax Florida. What does that tell you? That tells you that basically she's like, you know what? I made the area suck. I made the place completely screwed, and I don't want to live like this once I retire. This sounds vaguely familiar with the way that people tend to do stuff in Maryland. They vote really, really, really blue state, and then they go, oh, this place sucks when I retire. The taxes are so high and the infrastructure. I can't live like this. I know. I'll go to a better state. And they do. So she basically just paid $25 million to be governed by Ron DeSantis and bought an 11,000 square foot house. Now, let's just put this in perspective. My house is a 4-bedroom, 3-floor house, unfinished basement, not too terrible small. People come in here and it's like, yeah, it's actually got a nice feel. It's got a good flow. It's not too small. It's not too big. It's just right. It's 2,300, almost 2,400 square feet, folks. Okay. 3 people can pretty much not quite get lost from each other in this thing, but you have your own personal space. No problem at all. Now, the other dirty little secret is, what's the other dirty little secret about Nancy Pelosi? Okay, she's almost towing 80 years old, folks. Okay, it's not like she's really just like, oh yeah, I'm spry. I'm doing all the fun stuff and all the good stuff like that. There, what the heck's going on with this thing? It's like completely, I don't know why it's doing it. Okay, it was flipped. Okay, my alphabetizing was backwards for some reason. All right, but anyway, if you think about it, what it is she's towing 80 years old. Okay, she's going to be in this monster thing, and it might just be a case of
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Uh-oh, medic alert! Hold the little button. Yeah, well, of that I shall say no more. But essentially, what it is she's got this monster house now in Florida, tons of cash. She's obviously going to retire in Florida. Okay, well, she's also 80, almost 80 years old. How much time do you think she's got left on the planet? She's seeing the writing on the wall, and she's like, "Do I want to die in office in D.C., living in California, or do I want to have my sunset years in some place that's warm, sunny, nice, pretty much all year round, with the exception of the hurricanes and the tornadoes and the rest of that fun stuff?" But that tends to be more west side of the state, not the east side of the state. Just give me 1 second here. There's a reason why NASA, in their infinite wisdom, said, "You know what? Let's put this Rocket Park area on the east coast of Florida, also known as Space Coast." So anyway, she bought this monster house, and we'll see how things shake out. I think the writing's on the wall. Her old butt is going down to Florida, and it's pretty much how it is. I don't know if you guys caught up with this one or not, but ping pow, poo, ping, 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 pew, 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 pew. Um, President Kaka gave himself a new nickname. Yeah, that's right. He's calling himself Sheriff Joe. Dude, no, stop. I mean, and I do mean like stop, okay? It's really just one of those things where you're like, "Oh, I'm Sheriff Joe. You can count on me because I'm Sheriff Joe." Yeah, it's no, no, no. It's not even just sound guy. No, it has nothing to do with the Terminator. Okay, no. Yeah, it's definitely swing and a miss. Just swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Hang on a second here. I gotta silence my phone. It's being obnoxious. There we go. Now it'll stop being obnoxious. It's one of those things where every once in a while you have that, like, sign on kind of check in thing. And it's really, really annoying. Oh, Patriot Fever. Come on, brother. Appreciate you coming on by. Patriot Fever, Mrs. Patriot, and Little Patriot on station in the Yeah, hopefully everything works out on that one. But yeah, Sheriff Joe. Dude, no, that's just that's not even like Terminator truck skid. That's just what would be the easiest way to say, Sheriff Joe? No, it's not Pac-Man Chomp. No, it is not Pac-Man Chomp, sound guy. It's more like this. Yeah, because he's just he's not that guy. Okay, he is not that guy. Sheriff Joe. Wow. Speaking of something else that kind of bites, Sheriff Joe and the old battalies, OSHA has suspended the enforcement of the vaccine mandate. And this is coming from the Labor Department. Occupational Health and Safety Administration says it's suspended the implementation and enforcement of the Biden administration COVID-19 shot mandate. Why? Well, because a court said, no, you don't have the authority to do that. Coming down the pike, obviously, yeah. This is one of those uncomfortable news stories coming from TeamTuckerCarlson.com, and I'm kind of just ripping through these things, but more people died from the key clinical trial for the Pfizer COVID vaccine than the company publicly reported. Yeah. Now it's obviously not a huge number, but more people died. Wow. No, Patriot Fever, I don't think that was the case at all. I think what it is that OSHA was like, yeah, we'll do this because, we have to do this because you're telling us from on high to do these things. But I think what happened is that the federal court said, no, don't even think about it. So that one blew up in their face with a glorious boom, didn't get to do it. So they didn't get to do it. So in that case, it just didn't happen. So anyway, looking at things as it is, on the other side of the equation of things that are coming out to be kind of cool, Nick Sandman, the guy that basically sued the crap out of the news media guys and said, look, you lied about me. I didn't insult the Indian guy. And CNN or MSNBC, I think it was CNN, had to make a settlement on a $250 million libel/slander lawsuit. They lost their butts. Just give me 1 second. Anyway, so Sandman has been talking to, of all things and all people, he's been talking to Mr. Rittenhouse and saying, buddy, blah, pal, I got a little plan of action for you, which to utilize on how to make those guys doing those things to you and make them pay dearly. Mostly because everybody from on high, from including and to including Joe Kaka, that's right, Joe Biden libeled, slandered, and pretty much colored or tried to color an open law enforcement action in a court of law. So did MSNBC, so did CNN. All the major news media guys attempted to get Rittenhouse stuffed under the jail cell. Patriot Fever, Kyle Rittenhouse, and the greatest hold my beer story ever. Wow. So I think Mr. Sandman and his law enforcement group read like, those people that pretty much hold the other people under, precept of following the same laws that everybody else has to. I think they're going to be dragging MSNBC, CNN, and all the rest of these happy guys into court, including Joe Kaka. And I really, truly think it's not going to work out for them all that particular good. In fact, I would say it's probably going to come up with a big, glorious boom. And wow, it is not going to be pretty at all once that sucker hits, man. No, it's going to be bad juju, man. I'll tell you what, it is not going to work out for them in any way, shape, or form. And it could be said that once they finally get jammed for the price of doing business, yeah, they're gonna be. I think they're gonna be sharding in no fell swoop, and it's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be. In today's news, CNN, MSNBC, and the rest of the left-hard news media has proceeded to shart their drawers. News at 11. Yeah, I think that's literally what's going to be the newscast. They're going to be sharding their freaking drawers going, oh, my stars and garters, we're bankrupt. We can only hope. Scrolly. This tells you more than just a little bit about how things work in Washington, D.C. when they don't want you to know the rest of the story. FDA asked a federal judge to wait until 2076, 50 years from now, folks, to release COVID vaccine data. Why are they so hard charging about waiting 50 blanking years, 55 years, to open up the files and go, oh, this is the whole poop about it? Mostly because they're waiting for everybody that was around for it to be the first time around to be actively, completely, and physically blanking dead. Ugh. Patriot Fever, what is the combined net worth of MSNBC, CNN, and corporate? Well, CNN is not worth nearly as much as what they used to be because their viewership right now is paltry. And it could be said that those guys really, truly are now suffering the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. And they did it to themselves. Ouch. Ouch. But this whole thing about the 2076 release, it's the kind of JFK crap that really makes you wonder what's going on. If you guys look on YouTube, I would tell you, you have got to see. It's not really all that funny, but it is a behind the scenes look at how it would and why it's the most disreputable piece of just I got this one, sound guy. It's the most disreputable piece of just it's just big stinking piles. That's Hollywood for you. Because they are just they're dookie, man. There's no way in the world that you could do the kind of stuff that you've done to this gentleman and just simply say, oh, well, it's just business. But anyway, the video is by Dave Chappelle, the comedian, the guy that had Chappelle Show, all the rest of that fun stuff. And I've always liked Dave Chappelle. I always thought he was just a seriously cerebral, funny dude. Once you basically like peel down the onion beside the standard, hey, this is my obvious, N-word joke that it's a black dude on the black dude, and you guys kind of get it because you're not allowed to say that, but we can joke back and forth about it, blah, 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 blah. Kind of that tongue-in-cheek thing that he would do. Well, the guy has many other levels beside himself. He's really a smart, cerebral dude. And the video is called "This Industry is a Monster," and it's from the I believe it's the Unforgiven comedy video or comedy excerpt that he did or some such. He's really a lot more on Netflix now, and he actually has some really good valid points. It's like, when I actually did the Chappelle Show, I signed a contract. I basically got screwed out of the money I should have been earning. They're still making money on it. He goes, please don't watch the Chappelle Show. Please. I mean, these butt bugs are making cash off my hard labors. I'm not making a dime off it because of the contract. And he goes back and pulls back, the curtain to really show the disgusting, nasty, dirty little tactics that Hollywood does to screw the performers out of money while they're still raking in the cash. In an attached story, I could say possibly one of the smartest gentlemen I've ever read about years ago. And this guy literally was a genius. I'm talking about Alec Guinness, the guy that played Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars series. Yeah, him. Bridge on the River Kwai. I mean, the guy is just a chameleon. So many movies he's been in, you would never know it was him until you heard the voice and you're like, oh yeah, that's Alec Guinness. Well, the thing about it is when he signed on to do the original Star Wars, they were like, yeah, well, you can basically get paid X or, this. And he goes, I don't want that. I think I want to have my role and I want to have some points on the gross, not the net, but on the gross. I wish to have a few points. And they're like, yeah, well, this movie's probably not going to do anything. So yeah, we'll throw you a few tchotchkes, Bubby, whatever makes you happy. So here's the way it works. When you make a movie and you say it earns X amount net, that's literally everything that they say. Oh, this movie cost $350 million to make. It only made $247 million in this country and another $900 million in this country. But the expenses of doing everything cost, it was like $1.7 trillion. Oh, it was so expensive to do all this stuff. This movie made no money at all. That's the net. But if you say the gross of what that movie actually is every single dollar that movie earned, not accounting for the costs. So what Alec Guinness did was he said, I want to have like a percentage of what this movie earns. If you guys want to do some really quick and dirty research, look up how much the original Star Wars earned back in 1977. It made bank, and it cost almost nothing to make. That movie made so much money, it made Alec Guinness rich, that the next couple movies that he did, he didn't really even have to do, except he was contracted to do it. And he's like, yeah, I've made tons of cash on the first one. If you want to give me a point on these other ones, and of course, they all blew up as well. So with the contract that he had a percentage earning of all those movies. Very, very astute gentleman. Literally knew how things worked and basically went, yeah, not even like a finger, but the whole arm just going right up the old pooper. Showed Hollywood how that thing works. I don't know if you guys caught this one or not, but speaking of up the old pooper, supposedly Joe Kaka was knocked out for a few hours to get a colonoscopy. So Kamala was running things while Joe was getting an interior viewing. Yeah, I don't even know if I can do anything with that one, but it's just ew. Just ew. Have you guys caught up with this one or not? Of course, obviously it's all over the news, but of course, Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty of every single charge. Now, here's the important thing. Since he was charged and they couldn't get him to stick with those charges, he is a free man and they cannot stick him with those charges ever again. Can they try something like manslaughter or can they try something else along those lines? yeah, they could try it, but you know what? When it goes to court and the prosecution looks just as silly as this time around, it's not gonna fly. Kyle is a free man. The memes have been absolutely just beyond measure, and some of those I cannot pull out. I really can't transfer them over, but the memes are just absolutely spot the blank on. Um, I did have some fun, of course, with Grosskreutz because, well, he's just an easy target. But the dirty little secret about Grosskreutz, most people don't realize, is before he went to court and was, trying and flailing in any way, shape, and form to try to stick something on Kyle, he was busted for DUI. So the guy was a known idiot from word one. Uh, this one is actually kind of cute. I really find it funny when I get to hoist the petard of news.yahoo.com by basically using their own snarky left-hardism against them. This one's coming in from Tallahassee, Florida. Republicans fighting President Joe Biden's coronavirus vaccine mandates. No, they're not fighting the vaccine mandates. They're fighting the policy on the mandates. Get it straight. Are wielding a new weapon against the White House rules natural immunity, of which I'm a member. They contend that people who recover from the virus have enough immunity and antibodies to not need the COVID-19 vaccines, and the concept has been invoked by Republicans. Okay, here's the dirty little secret. If you've had COVID and you've gotten past it and you're now, still alive, obviously, those things that your body used to fight COVID-19 are antibodies. Well, gee, what happens if you've never had COVID-19 and you get the vaccine? You generate antibodies. The process in which you're utilizing to generate the antibodies is one with the mRNA vaccine, artificial. By getting and beating COVID-19, that is your naturally acquired immunity. Or if everybody around you does the same thing, it is herd immunity. Now, there's related stories coming down the pike, and I think that's coming down a little further. But essentially what it is it's now come out to say that people who have natural immunity from COVID-19 are not people who will transfer the active virus to somebody else and give them COVID-19. Interesting. Very interesting. Like I said earlier, this is coming from a Washington Post. This one, November 20. Biden and aides tell allies he's running in 2024 amid growing Democratic fears. This is from WashingtonPost.com or at Washington Post on Twitter. Biden aides tell allies he's running in 2024 amid growing Democrat fears. The message is aimed at part of tamping down the assumption among many Democrats that Biden may not seek re-election given his age and reputation. I cannot. I don't have to say another word, folks. Run, Joe, run. Wow. Don't let us stop you, Joe. Please don't stop what you're doing. The DNC will crumble beneath your leadership. Oh, Kamala is pissed. I don't know if you guys caught up in this one or not, but the terrible driving through crowd assault that took place for the Christmas paraders in Waukesha, I think it's Waukesha, Wisconsin, sent 11 adults and 12 children to 6 area hospitals. I think the death toll now is 6. Most of the fatalities, of course, being children. And the guy that did it is now identified. Yeah. Excuse me one second here. As Darrell E. Brooks Jr. of Milwaukee. He's been a Trump-hating BLM supporter for the longest time, and the pictures that I have posted on my Facebook post about this, I posted up just yesterday. I cannot do this justice. There's a picture of him in the orange jumpsuit, kind of looking at the camera like, yeah, whatever. But the next picture is from a local CBS affiliate, and there is the red Ford Explorer. Ford Escape. And you can see it sitting in the driveway, front end facing out, with very obvious front end damage. And the dirty little secret is this guy fashioned himself as a rapper There's a rap video where he's rapping in front of that same Ford Escape. I guess that's what's referred to as a chain of evidence to know that's probably his car. Well, anyway, this guy is now up on probably 6 vehicular homicide charges because another child died. Dude, you are a world-class piece of crap. And if there's anybody that needs to go up on domestic terrorism charges and hate speech type of stuff, it's you, man. It's you. Supposedly this is going on yet again in the White House. Yes, another resignation rocks the Biden administration just one day after the previous one. The White House has announced the departure of, during a recent USA Today poll that revealed Joe Biden's approval rating is only 38%, while Kamala Harris is 28%. This story coming in from analyzingamerica.com. Let's see. Who's the one who left now? Communications Chief of Staff Emma Riley has announced her departure. According to Newsweek, Riley will be moved to the Department of Labor. News came only one day after the White House said Ashley Etienne will also be leaving her post as communication director for Horizontal Harris. Etienne previously served for former President Barack Obama as well as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. She is described as the quote-unquote veteran of former Democratic administration. This is rats off a sinking ship, folks. There's no other way to express this. Tactical Shriner flushed that turd down the drain. Nice. But yeah, man, it seems to be coming out by the wayside that they're bailing, man. They're out of here, just out of here, man. Supposedly this is coming from a MSNBC host, and I just gotta say, who saw it? Okay, I mean, really, who saw your displeasure? We're talking MSNBC here, okay? But the MSNBC host is disgusted by the Kenosha verdict. Disgusted by the Kenosha verdict. Calls Rittenhouse a, quote, little murderous white supremacist, end quote. I wonder if this colorblind, Afrocentric, racist biatch even knows the fact that, well, Kyle Rittenhouse happens to be of a Caucasian persuasion. All the people that were involved in his action of defense were also of a Caucasian persuasion. And he was defending property not owned by Caucasians. Does that even come into play? Is it even important? No, because she just throws the whole racist hammer and hopes it's going to stick. Yeah. So anyway, MSNBC host Tiffany Cross. Does anybody even know this person? Illinois teenager Kyle Rittenhouse calling him a, quote, murderous little white supremacist during her Saturday show, quote, The Cross Connection. Let me clear my throat on that one, folks. First and foremost, who watches MSNBC on a Saturday? Who even knows who this person is? So Cross devoted a good portion of her show to a lengthy conversation. It wasn't a conversation. It was her railing on about, I don't like him. He's a white guy killing somebody, and that and the other thing. It was a racially motivated, blah, blah, blah. Because that's her only thing to fit to the template which she utilizes. Devoted a good portion of the show to a lengthy conversation about Rittenhouse, who shot 3 people during protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin in August of 2020. Was acquitted Friday of all charges against him. Joining Cross in the conversation was The Nation's legal correspondent, Ellie Mistal, who argued that Rittenhouse had only been acquitted because, quote, the judge was in the tank from the defendant from the jump. Ellie, you stupid commie whore. It was a jury trial. The judge merely officiated. You are beyond stupid. The fact that you have a heartbeat is merely for the fact that you supply the life energies to a reproductive organ of which hopefully you never, ever use. I could read more of this twaddle, but it's just basically brain addlingly stupid conjecture by a bunch of morons who really, truly don't understand how the world turns. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not, but supposedly, yeah, Tactical Shriner, she's an oxygen thief. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier there, Tactical Shriner. Rittenhouse will be the next Sandman. Hopefully he gets millions. Well, I would hope in my heart of hearts, I would hope that he pretty much follows the same template and makes MSNBC, makes CNN, and even makes Joe Kaka from the White House have to pull out the checkbook and how much do you want? Yeah, this is painful. Oh, yeah, I don't like this much. Well, hopefully he can call his buddy Obama and say, hey, man, can you spot me a few million? Because Obama's administration is no more, but the Obama Association Foundation got a donation from Jeff Bezos of $100 million. Now, why does somebody make that kind of a generous contribution to a foundation? It's very simple. It's money laundering. That's all there is to it. If they make a contribution and then Obama starts making political contributions to other like-minded candidates, as air quotes, it's all seen as all good, completely legal. And of course, Bezos can throw $100 million at it without having to worry about the FEC going, hey man, you can't do that type of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not, but this is absolutely hilarious. I do not know the venue. I don't know the timeline of what it took place, but there's a Twitter video up. It's only like about maybe 15 seconds or so. But the clown prince of Captain Creepy Pants, actually, Captain Creepy Crappy Pants, also known as Joe Kaka, POTUS of these United States, he walked up to this little girl who was being held by an adult. Secret Service guys all around in the background. They're obviously, they're wearing their, they're really, really uber dark glasses. You can't see which way they're looking. So he walks up and he's like, hi, hello, whoo, ah, ah. And the girl's like, not feeling it, man. She's like kind of getting creeped out. And he's like, ooh, oh, hi, how you doing? He's like poking on her like, hi, little girl. And she just goes, ew. And she literally almost elbows in the face, and Joe Kaka's like, whoa, oh, okay, that didn't work. Oh, okay, hi, hey, how you doing there? Ooh. But she was not feeling it. So she was not buying his Creeps the Clown act, and it didn't work out for him. This one, of course, being posted up. All you got to do is just look around for basically Joe Biden gets slapped by a little girl. I cannot do it justice. It was absolutely uproariously funny. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not. This is one of these ones that really just makes me scream bravo Sierra at the computer as I'm looking at this news story. I mean, I cannot do it any other justice simply to call it for what it is. It is a big, stinking, hairy, nasty pile of well, I would say bull dookie, okay, but it's definitely dookie, okay. I mean, it's just yeah, it's yeah, it's basically these news guys basically just fapping off and saying, "Ooh, this is so cool. We took this poll. We got a bunch of people to agree with our slanted way of phrasing these things." Anyway, this one's coming in from again yahoo.news.com. And I'm going to claim Bravo Sierra, as in Barbara Streisand, as in BS. Poll: as winter COVID surge begins, 74% of Americans say their lives have returned to normal. Quote unquote on that one. Let me counter that one for you real quick in there, news.yahoo.com. Being told that wearing a mask is required, not normal. Being not allowed to do pre-COVID activities, not normal. Not allowed to fly or walk into an airport without wearing a mask, not normal. Not allowed to take a cruise and get off at a destination without getting the shot, not normal. We are not in normalcy, Yahoo. You're propagating a false premise. Truly. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not. This is how you commit career suicide. Yet again, another case of a Democrat popping off, saying something stupid in public, going, I'll just hit the delete button. Okay, remember, how many times have I told you guys on the internet? Hand to the Almighty. I've said this a million times. Never, ever, asterisks on either side, ever put anything on the internet that you do not want to say to another person in proximity with a bunch of other people listening, because there is no delete button on the internet. Somebody will grab a screenshot. Somebody will grab a copy of it. Somebody else will download your whatever it was, and it will be there into their computer or into everybody's computers, and then spread around yet again after you've deleted it into perpetuity. So, what did this disgusting leftard say? Well, it's Mary Lemansky, and she is, formerly was an Illinois Democrat who appeared to portray the Christmas parade tragedy in Waukesha, Waukesha, Wisconsin. Sorry there. As a form of payback for Friday's acquittal of Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha. Yeah. Has resigned from her post. Mary Lemansky has resigned from her position as the social media director of the Democrat Party of DuPage County, Illinois, on Monday morning. And Summerkamp, the organization's executive director, told Fox News in an email Lemansky's name was removed from the organization's webpage early Monday. Summerkamp confirmed that the Twitter account, which appeared to post a series of mocking tweets belonging to the same Mary Lemansky, who had just resigned. The DuPage Democrat Twitter account posted Lemansky's statement of resignation, which Lemansky also posted on her own account. One of the earlier social media posts from Lemansky about the Christmas parade tragedy read, quote, "It was probably just self-defense with the hashtags Wisconsin and Kyle Rittenhouse." Yeah. In that text, it's from heavy.com. So Heavy San. A photo provided by Heavy. The witness shows the driver of the SUV plowed into a Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, killing multiple people and injuring more than 20. Suspect is in custody. Police say, of course, with a bit.ly link. So she basically popped off, thought she was all smart doing these things, and of course, obviously did it, and obviously it blew up on her badly. Obviously, it blew back on her badly, and I cannot begin to tell you in no uncertain terms how badly it blew back on her. I was on her Twitter account and I was looking at it, and I cannot do it justice. And if you look at her Twitter, I guess you would say Twitter page. Just give me 1 second here. There is zero content. Sorry, my nose is running. There is zero content on her page. You look at her avatar or her profile picture, and it's just this generic GIF. Like basically like just kind of like just the female whatever it is fall in place. Kind of this is a chick's Twitter account. They don't want to put a picture up. They don't want to personalize it. Just says this is a female account. Boop. Some kind of stupid little sketch drawing. And if you look at the text underneath describing who they are and their description of their Twitter page, the former Democrat, blah, 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 of the former blah, 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 and the former blah, blah, blah of this area, blah, blah, blah. So basically she's saying, I ain't Jack and I was somebody, not anymore. So anyway, the other thing to do is also she's a actor slash political hack. God, I cannot begin to do this justice, folks. I really can't. Um, but it is what it is. I don't know if you guys caught up with this one or not. This is, of course, jumping over to very similar aspects of the same subject matter. But essentially, what it's come out to be is it's come out to be that there was an interview between Kyle Rittenhouse with Tucker Carlson. I think it was like a 17-minute video or something, and the interview was only like about 15 minutes long. But I got to tell you what, man, this kid, he's 18 years old. It was 17 years old when it happened. They stuck him in jail for a long time, trying to break him, trying to show him the error of his ways. Of course, there's that whole Democrat way of thinking, like, oh, the seriousness of the charge. Never mind if you're guilty or not of something, but it's the seriousness of the charge. Oh, well, I got to tell you what, watching this kid during this interview and looking at the way he was describing things, the way he was interacting with Tucker Carlson, he kind of reminded me of the kids I used to watch, like, back Greatest Generation, like fighting in World War II, like those guys who pretty much were like, yeah, I'm going to go over from, the whatever, and I'll fight the Japs or I'll fight the Germans, I'll fight the this, I'll fight the that, no offense to the Japanese, of course, I'm basically using the period phrase. But this kid strikes me as somebody who really truly is way more cerebral and didn't just come out there going, yeah, I'm just going to squeeze rounds into somebody, the first guy that comes up to me, and he even says boo. I think the situation which he found himself in sucks. Personally, like I was telling one of my friends, I would never have been on the street. I would have been on top of the building, and I would have been treating it the way that the Koreans did during the LA riots. And I would have told these guys in no uncertain terms, if you approach this area and you engage me, I will kill you. If you stay away, I have not a single thing to say to you. You have not a single thing to say to me. That is also known as peace by force. Now, the situation is, which this kid finds himself, of course, they're now going to be the sour grapes of, oh, I'll make death threats against him and all this, that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 blah. I hope he moves to another area. And if the kid is smart, he probably changes his name. In any case, way, shape, or form, I guarantee you, this kid is going to go far in life because he is a very intelligent young man. And he sees the reality as what it is. And of course, he's now able to approach it, look at it right in the face and go, yeah, this either works for me or this is not going to work for me. And I'll just have to, deal with these things as it falls, and I'll be able to deal with them because I have these tools now. I think in the scheme of things, of everything that's happened to him, he's been given some serious case of, dealing with things the hardest, the worst. And the kid's got a cold rolled set of brass doodads. Cold rolled set. No, let's do it right. A cold rolled steel set of nuts. There's no way in the world you go through the stuff that you go through, and you basically sit down with somebody and you have an interview and you say, look, man, here's how it happened. And he's like pulling minutia out. Okay, well, when this happened, did that happen? Did you really blah, blah, blah? He goes, no, I felt that was a situation where I had to blah, blah, blah. And I cannot do the interview justice. You really need to see the kid speaking for himself without all the media coloring of, well, he meant to blah, 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 or he was this, that, and the other. It was not, you could tell for a fact, it was not speech written stuff. The kid was off the cuff, describing everything that happened to him. And it was a very, very good interview. I truly enjoyed watching the kid give his version of what happened. And of course, the honest appraisal of why he felt that he had to, defend himself by deadly force. Kid's got a set, man. I was very, very impressed with the young man. All right, so looking at things. I cannot do this one justice. Okay, now I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a backstory on this one, but okay, let me be perfectly honest here. Okay, I do not hate the technology of electric vehicles. I just don't have a problem with them. I think, they're very intriguing technology, but they're not quite ready for prime time. No, they're just No, they're not ready to go, okay, I'm gonna walk out, stick the key in there, and just they're not quite there yet. I mean, yeah, they'll do a hell of a burnout, but they're really not quite ready. Well, supposedly what happened is uh, they were left unable to start their cars because there was an outage. Yes, this is coming from financeyahoo.com. And Tesla drivers were left unable to start their cars after an outage. Oops. Tesla drivers say they were locked out of their cars after an outage struck the car maker's app. Yeah. So basically, they walked up to their car and they're like, okay, hi, car, let me in. And the car said, no. And they said, come on, car, let me in. I got my phone and everything. And the car was like, no, I'm not going to let you in. Oh, come on, car. I want you to just let me in, all right? So anyway, dozens of owners posted on the social media about seeing an error message on the mobile app prevented them from connecting to their vehicles. Tesla chief executive Elon Musk, who I got no problem with the man whatsoever. There's a couple crazy things that he says and wants to do, but I'll tell you what, man. I'm truly, completely, and absolutely a fan of the way that Elon Musk is running stuff and making things happen. He is the real world Tony Stark, and I am very, very impressed with him. Anyway, so he said that was personally responding to one complaint from a driver in South Korea, saying on Twitter, checking. Mr. Musk said later the app was coming back online, and the Tesla app was used as a key by drivers to lock and unlock their cars. Owners posted a multitude of complaints about online about not being able to use their vehicles. Quote, I'm stuck an hour away from home because I normally use my phone to start my car, one owner tweeted. About 500 users reported the error of the app around 4:40 p.m. on Friday, according to the outage tracking site Down Detector. 5 hours later, there were 60 reports of the error. Quote, apologies, we've taken measures to ensure this doesn't happen again, Mr. Musk tweeted. The app is not the only way to access the cars, though. Hang on a second, I got a stupid app popping on me. Or ad. There's a secondary mechanism to get in and out of the car beyond the app. Difficulty will come if the drivers are not carrying it. Well, one of the ways I saw is actually really kind of cool. Literally, it is. Now I'm gonna have to get a stand in here. Okay, I will use one of my cruise keys that I had for a cruise I took. This one being on 2017, that I took on the Grandeur of the Seas. So anyway, what it is literally it's a RFID card in your wallet. You walk up to the car, and okay, if you look at the side of a car, this is going to get a little technical here for a second. But if you look at the side of a car, there is obviously the upright panels. So alongside the edge of the windshield, going to the front edge of the the driver's door or the passenger door, that coming down is called the A pillar. Then you go to the back of the door, there's the upright piece there that is called the B pillar. Then going to the rear of the rear door, that area going down would be either the C pillar or the sail panel. That's the triangular piece of metal that goes down, hits the top of the fender, and then encloses the back window area or the hatch area. So literally what you do is you walk up to the car and you just take your RFID card and go whoop, and hold it right against the left rear sail panel. And I guess conversely, in the right-hand drive versions of the Tesla, you would hold it on the right sail panel. So essentially what you do is you just walk up, the car goes, oh, okay, I recognize you. Everything's cool. Yep. Unlocks, turns on, and allows you to drive off. That's if they have this RFID card in their wallet, which is really just essentially kind of like a credit card. It's not that much different than carrying a credit card. Obviously, you carry credit cards that are chip cards. That's an RFID card, folks. As a matter of fact, most times when I use my credit cards nowadays, I use the RFID pad because it's just easier. And of course, it's unsecure. No, dude, here. Let me break this down for you real stupid, simple, and easy here. When you use an RFID card to make a transaction, what happens is That card talks to your bank. Your bank talks to the store you're buying something from and goes, okay, I'm going to generate a one-time code for recognition for the cash transaction. And it goes, okay, I recognize that code. Here's a counter code. And both the bank and the store go, cool, we're jiggy. Boom, cash transaction done. After that, the code is gone. It's a one-time use only, and it literally is a digital handshake code used one time. Now, on the Tesla car, essentially, it's the same code every time because the card has to go, I'm your card. And the card goes, oh, yeah, you're my card. I'll start up and run now. So if they don't have that and they're just using their phone and something's glitching up and the phone's going, they ain't going nowhere. So, in the classic sense of having a key, you don't have a key, dude. You're screwed. You don't have the RFID card and you don't have your phone working. Guess what? Your car ain't going nowhere because unless you're outside tapping on some other way to get into the software, it ain't going to allow it to do nothing, Bubba. Now, I do actually have somewhat similar kind of stuff with that. With my newer car, I got a 2016 Honda Pilot. It's a keyless car, folks. I mean, you walk up, it recognizes the key fob and goes, oh, yeah, ka-dunk, and unlocks so you then can open the car door. Or you can use it as a standard transmitter and lock and unlock. Well, if the battery in that key fob dies, you could be going, and it won't unlock at all. What you have to do is you hit a little switch and a real key pops out. You stick that in the door, unlock it conventionally, get into the car, plug the key back into the fob, take the fob, hold it against the start button, and then the car goes, that's a dead battery. But oh yeah, okay, cool. I recognize that fob. I'll allow you to drive this car. Some of the newer cars also have like little areas where you take the key fob and you put it down like in like the glove box area or like the center console area or like in another area where you basically have like a reader built into the car that then can go, okay, I recognize you. If you don't have a key, you're not getting into the car in the first place to do that. Some cars will allow you to take the fob and hold it against the doorknob, and it'll do that as well. It's just where they put the antenna. Now, that's one of the things I thought was kind of funny in this one, though. But technology makes things convenient, but also relies on a server working 100% of the time. It's the same as leaving the house without credit cards, expect to pay for things with my smartphone. If you're relying on one mechanism all the time, we can be caught out. Well, I don't use my phone to pay for squat unless I'm actually buying something online. And then guess what? I'm going to use PayPal as the transaction medium because, oh, yeah, it's got my credit card on file. And, oh, yeah, if there's any issues, I can chase them down with PayPal and make them pay me back. Don't ask me how that one works, but it does. Professor David Bailey from the Birmingham Business School has written extensively on the automotive industry. He also drives a Tesla and experienced the outage on Friday. To some extent, Tesla's a bit of a victim of their own success, he told the BBC. It encourages the customers to use cutting-edge technology it creates, and sometimes that will go wrong. Although, of course, you can use a key to open a car too, natural instinct of many Tesla owners who are buying one of the most high-tech models on the market is to rely on technology. Obviously, they're not going to have a key. So, folks, if you got a car and it's like that electronic doohickey, make sure you got some other backup or you might just get screwed. This I cannot begin to tell you. This strikes me as dumbassery on top of just massive dumbassery. Let's see. Tactical Shriner, I have a 92 Dakota that I could start, pull the key out, lock the door, and walk away to let it warm up. Yes, I've seen cars like that. You have like the old ignition switches, and you kind of jiggle it, and the key falls right out. Yep. Those are fun. Or you even have the older, more beat up ones where it's like you could basically just walk up and start it with a screwdriver because the ignition switch is just that jiggly. Anyway, so like I was saying, this one coming on from TeamTuckerCarlson.com. The Denver attorney who represents criminals shot while pointing gun at Rittenhouse files a civil lawsuit against Kyle Rittenhouse. I cannot begin to do this justice, but supposedly Gage Grosskreutz, the guy that said, yeah, I pointed a gun at him and he shot me. That guy. He now thinks that he's going to win with a civil case against Kyle Rittenhouse because he figures Kyle Rittenhouse is going to get the large money once all the good cases start working in his favor. And I cannot begin to do this justice, folks. But wow, supposedly Grosskreutz thinks he's going to win a case like this. He's just got to get used to losing, man. That's just all there is to it. He's just going to have to get used to losing. There's no other way around it. I cannot begin to do this justice. But supposedly Schwab has filed a lawsuit against Kenosha authorities, police departments. Schwab plans to file questions. How the police respond? Police do custody of vigilantes. Da 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 da. There's no other way around this, man. This is gonna be fun to watch. I really, really want to see Grosskreutz sitting on the stand, and it's gonna be like, so you feel that you've been wronged. Yes, I was just running around minding my own business, pointing a gun at some guy that I threatened to kill, and he shot me. Oh, this is gonna be comic gold, folks. I cannot do this justice. Well, he shot me after I threatened to kill him. Dude, Bubby, please don't go there, okay? Just don't cross that road because you're gonna, well, okay. It's pretty much gonna be just I can't begin to tell you. It's just gonna be a bad case for you, man. It's I cannot begin to tell you how bad it's gonna be. Oh man, it's gonna be comic gold, okay? It really is. It's just, well, it's not even gonna be. No, it's not gonna be beep beep, okay? It's just gonna be. Yep. Of course, there's always a chance of other stuff going on. Well, Grosskreutz is not exactly the he's not the poster child of like doing stuff right to begin with. He got busted for DUI before he ever even went to go to court against Kyle Rittenhouse. So, yeah, prison door. So, he might get out of jail, but
put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
He might actually find himself in a little bit more than he thinks he's going to be counting on to get paid off because no, it's not going to work like that, dude. It really isn't, okay? You're just gonna, well, just yeah, just most definitely it's gonna be, yeah, yep. Anyway, coming up at 10 o'clock time, 10 o'clock time period, been on for an hour or so, and appreciate your kind attention. I'm going to break up with this one, folks. Many other things going on, and you guys decided to hang out with me. I truly, truly appreciate your kind attentions. So I'm going to break up with this one and good stuff like that there. Let me find the appropriate sound effects. Yes, something like this. All right, I'm going to break up this one, folks. Eat good, keep 10 ring as always. You know it, you love it. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You get a gold star for attendance on Facebook, on YouTube, in review. And you can find it at your leisure. You can watch this video whenever you so wish. And I'm going to set it up on there. And I appreciate your kind attention. You guys hanging out with me. And you guys, well, you sat in the room. You hung out. You watched. Good stuff like that there. Do enjoy your turkey day, your days off, and the good stuff like that there. And I'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one. See you guys. British.